you doing? This is Adam Post, publisher of more than 1,000 independent comic books. And today we're talking about RIPPAVERSE Under Woke Attack. Some woke people that contribute to CBR.com, comicbookresources.com. For some reason, they don't appreciate all the success that RIPPAVERSE is getting with their first title. I'm very happy for Eric July with RIPPAVERSE. I think it's amazing. Let's go into more of the details. Before we do, subscribe to the channel, click the bell for notifications, and give me a thumbs up when you like it. Now, this is coming from Bounding Into Comics. It just came out today. Multiple CBR writers are attacking Eric July's Isom #1 campaign. One calls customers brainwashed into giving him all their comic book money, apparently. And again, CBR is Comic Book Resources. This is what you'd call a mainstream website. They talk about news, comics, movies, TV, anime, gaming, and for some reason, rather than supporting an independent creator, they've decided to attack him on Twitter, I guess. So let's get into the article. This is coming from Bounding Into Comics, a great website about independent comics projects, and they also cover things as well, TV, celebrity, anime. Great website. Two writers from the alleged comics news website, CBR, attacked Eric July's Isom #1 campaign this weekend. Isom is the name of the title of the RIPPAVERSE, which is Eric July's comics universe that he's launching. And I'm very happy for him. I've launched a comic universe before. It is not an easy game, but Eric seems to got it down real well. So they basically are complaining, these two writers, that the pricing of the graphic novel at $35 is too high. And they're making statements that allude to him ripping off his customers because they're saying that the price is too high. CBR's David Harth tweeted to one of July's fans, "You can go get Saga 1, over 100 pages of excellent comic for $9.99. The Merry Deaths of Layla Star for $13. Watchmen for $25. This isn't a good value. You're just brainwashed." Now, this is supposed to be, like, this is journalism, and it's fine to be slanted. You know, you can have opinion and things like that, but not sure why it's necessary to attack customers of Isom. You know, why? Let Isom be. Let him do his thing. Harth compares the value of reprints of corporate properties to a self-made pre-order campaign when it would be more apt to compare what Eric July is doing to Kickstarter or Indiegogo projects of the same length of 96 pages. Let's talk a little bit about pages and pricing, okay? I've published my own independent comics. My first one was 1985, G.I. Jackrabbits. I published another 1,000 or so in the 90s, everything from little black and white comics at our company to Chromium Man, a full-color ongoing science fiction series, and a full universe. What a project that was. And then more recently, I've done some crowdfunded comics. Pricing is whatever you say it is. You get to charge whatever you want when you sell, whether it's a comic or if you sell house cleaning services or you want to sell movies. So whatever you're making, whatever you're selling, hot dogs, don't matter what it is, you get to set the price when you're the guy who's making it. Now, that said, 96 pages for $25 plus shipping, roughly, whatever, is not especially high. You know, it's obviously it's a top quality book. But beyond that, you know, going back to probably 1992, John Byrne did a 48-page 2112 graphic novel. That was the title of it, 48 pages, a good book. And it was published through Dark Horse. And I remember as a publisher looking at that and saying, wow, what a brilliant format. 48 pages, full color, perfect bound. So square bound, you know, it looks like a book, a type on the spine. And it was $10, you know, back when comics then were, you know, $1.99, $2.50. And here was 48 pages for 4 times the price. So including shipping especially and things like that, 96 pages for $25, $35, whatever, is not a lot of money. It's just not. Now, also, you have to keep in mind when Eric July was planning this, he didn't know he was going to sell as many copies. I mean, from what he's said, he had a goal of $100,000. I'm sure he wanted to make more than $100,000. But, if you, in publishing, you don't know how things are going to go. You don't get to say how much you're going to sell. You can promote a lot, thank God to YouTube and social media. You can keep promoting to get your numbers up. But you don't get to say, oh, my book is going to do $1 million. It's going to do $5 million. It's going to do $10 million. You don't, no matter who you are. Okay, so just like with films, you can't you produce a $200 million movie to make $1 billion. You're not necessarily going to make $1 billion. It's whatever the market accepts. So you have to pick pricing and formats and things like that as a publisher intelligently, the way that you can at least cover your costs and hopefully make a profit, because this is business. That's why these books are coming out. So Harth compares products that don't match this David Harth. So David, grow up, all right? One recent popular crowdfunding, Skies of Fire on Kickstarter, offered their basic books of similar length for $30, a similar price point to Isom #1. Mark Waid's Irredeemable campaign had a reprint campaign with its first issue, a standard 24-page comic, at $20. My own comics I've been recently publishing at 48 pages for $25 plus shipping. That's what I've been doing. I'd love to have lower prices and bigger books and things like that. But you have to be incredibly careful with the numbers to make sure that you can keep your promises, which is another thing that Eric July is doing a really great job of. He was knowing that he was making his first book, he was great in producing the comic in advance. I mean, I'm sure he's thrilled that he doesn't have to worry, all right, I got to get this part done, I got to get that part done, this guy said he's sick, that guy said he's sick. You learn a lot when you start to make projects, you make comic book productions, or anything you do. You learn a lot after your first one. And even with that, that there's no way to be sure something's going to get done, much less get done on time, unless you absolutely have it done and it's in your hand. In comparison to those, July's Isom seems to be on par with what independent comics charge. Of course it is. Another CBR writer, Anthony Gramuglia, joined in the attack of July, tweeting, "Just because I deliberately made it unaffordable to purchase doesn't mean that it's too expensive. One of the best superhero comics ever written, All-Star Superman, costs $30 on Amazon. When not on sale, it's 300 pages." You can get copies of comics, and people do this online all the time, that are digital, that are free, and you can read them for free forever. So I don't get what the point is here. And also, Lady Rippa writes here, "Remember, friends, just because something is out of your budget doesn't make it overpriced." And that's true. Look, you go to a restaurant. Okay, you can go to McDonald's. You can go to a family restaurant. You can go to a fancy restaurant. When I first went to a fancy restaurant was in Manhattan at the Plaza. And we spent like $300 on 2 steaks, something like that. And this was... it was a while ago. God knows what they charge now. I haven't been there lately. You get to set the price when you make the product, and to say that it's a ripoff is ridiculous. David Harth, I guess you know where I stand on this, but I get passionate about this because it is so incredibly difficult to make stuff that you are proud of. It can take years. When we just made the Mermaids, it took me 10 years to finally get that in print. From my idea to do it, to me then hiring an editor to help me put it together, to then hiring 2 different writers. We hired two different artists, and then a third, 2 colorists that came in on it. It takes forever. And then when you've made something, you don't even know if it's going to make money or not, if you'll be able to do sequels, whatever it is. I'm so happy we were able to ship it. If you want to check it out, epicmermaids.com. That will get you to my Mermaids project. You can still get it. David Harth continued an argument with July once the Isom creator saw the tweets attacking his book. Harth accused July of picking on a nobody for replying to the attacks on his unreleased comic book. He also illuminated that there appears to be a policy at CBR not to cover right-leaning books. That is interesting. Quote, "We don't cover Comicsgate either, mostly because both you and them are anti all of the things we write about," he tweets. Look, no one here, whoever works for CBR I don't own CBR, but you don't go speaking for what you do and don't cover there. That's not appropriate. That's not appropriate. You don't speak on behalf of the site unless you are authorized to. So that this guy's out of line. This site used to be called Comic Book Resources before it was rebranded CBR, and one might expect they would be writing about comic books and comic news, of which Isom #1 should qualify as the book has sold more than 50,000 copies from 40,000 customers as of this writing. 50,000 copies is phenomenal. It is phenomenal. 40,000 individual customers is phenomenal. But also keep this in mind, because sometimes people get it twisted, shall we say. Eric July did not just fall off a turnip truck. He's a great promoter. He speaks well. People are passionate about what he's passionate about. He's upfront about what he believes in. And he's built a huge following on YouTube. The last time I looked, it was like 500,000 people. So he's also spent 2 years promoting this project. That's from my recollection. So you spend 2 years and you got 500,000 followers, and you're passionate about what you're talking about, and it's what your YouTube followers care about. I'm sure he has other extensive social media and other connections as well. I know he's been collecting an email list for a very long time for people that would be interested in buying his project. That's what it takes. That's what it takes, to do that level of success. You don't need $3 million to make a good comic book, but it don't hurt. Very few comics from Marvel DC reach such threshold in sales, which makes this one of the top-selling books of the year. Yeah, this is historic, just like Cyberfrog #1 was historic. This is also historic. And I don't know if Eric July is going to do a great job of developing a universe. It's not easy. We did it. Very difficult. And it was in a tough market. We had to stop publishing. We only published 50 issues, Triumphant Comics. Eric July can do anything if he puts his mind to it. But look, this is a lot of hard work. It really is. And you never know. Markets can change too. On a live stream addressing the topic, July posts that CBR is admitting that they're a political operation and they are not there to cover comics. His hypothesis is based on one of Harth's tweets, which states, that would be like asking why Bernie Sanders doesn't have a column in a right-wing publication. Yeah. So I mean, it's not right-wing to just do the story. That's it. They're not going around beating up people that like Bernie Sanders in the comic. As far as I understand it, that has nothing to do with the storyline. So I don't know when things got like this exactly. It's just been over the last couple of years. It got really bad when Trump was elected. It got worse. But, I mean, obviously not Trump's fault. It doesn't make any sense. It just doesn't make any sense. The implication is that CBR is a left-wing political blog, not a comic book website. If true, this marks a rare moment where the mainstream entertainment media admits its political biases. So you can let me know what you think in the comments below. Is there something wrong with Eric having success with RIPPAVERSE? Does he have the right to go and build up a huge audience, work hard on his platform, offer his project out, and then offer it to people? I mean, the thing I think that's so impressive about this is clearly there was a lot of homework done in advance for this to be this kind of success that it is. And there's a lot of money spent too. And no matter who you are, where you're at, you start spending the kind of money that it takes to produce a professional book that's 96 pages, especially if you're not 100% haven't done it before, so you don't know what some of the tricks are in terms of maintaining budgets and things like that. You always overspend initially. It's very normal for people to do that. Maybe he did, maybe he didn't. I don't know. But I will say this, very, very impressive. He has my 100% respect, and great to see this level of success. So it isn't just Comicscape, and it's not just RIPPAVERSE. There are people out there hustling, putting out their books, doing it through crowdfunding, and I'm really excited to be a part of it. I will have more projects coming out soon. Something great just came up today with another collaborator that I wasn't even expecting. So I'll give you updates on what I'm doing soon. For the time being, I want you to be sure to be subscribed to the channel. Click the bell for notifications. Give me a thumbs up when you like it, and let me know what you think of RIPPAVERSE being under woke attack. Is that fair? You know what I think already. I had to say it. I couldn't hold it back. And I'll see you again with another video, and if I don't see you, I will miss you.